Good morning, good morning, good morning. You got a little surfer behind me. I don't know if he fell off. Did he fall off? He didn't make it. Surf's up on Lanai, and this morning I want to talk to you about you and I can learn to do anything. And I didn't know what I was going to talk about till I walked down to the beach and I saw the surf's up and the surfers, and I thought, I got a story for you. I think I might have the Guinness World Book of Records. I might be in the Guinness. You could look it up. I might be in there for the oldest fattest guy to ever learn how to surf. That's right, me, surfer. I'm not all that fat, but don't really have a surfer's body, which is kind of combination between I don't know, a gymnast and a yoga instructor is what you need to be a surfer, because you got to jump up on that board and you got to ride that wave, and pretty crazy, right? So in the background, these guys, there's two of them out there. They'll catch a wave. You can watch it. But here's the story about me learning how to surf. So I'm 67. At the age of 64, Kimmy and I went and lived in Australia for 3 or 4 months, one summer. We lived in this little town called Noosa, which, if there was a town here at Hula Point Beach, this would remind me of Noosa. So Noosa is this stunning little town. Anybody know Noosa in Australia? It's up on the Gold Coast, way up on the Sunshine Coast. Uh, just this awesome little surf town, great shopping, great restaurants. And the nice thing about the surf is it's not like here. This is dangerous surf. If you're going to surf here, you got to be good, because there's rocks and coral and it's a left-hand break and you got to know what you're doing. But on Noosa, I mean, it's like you got everything. You got big breaks, you got little breaks. So Kimmy, who is a surfer, she was excited about surfing. She bought a new surfboard. I'm going to surf. I'm going to surf. I'm going to surf. And we rented this house. It was about a 5-minute walk from the beach. And so I got the idea, probably inspired by her. Well, Richard, what if you learn how to surf? I tell you, I don't have a surfer's body, right? So laying on a surfboard, and then here's the move. I can't even, but if you could just imagine, you're laying on a surfboard. You got to catch the wave. You got to paddle like crazy. And then at the right moment, you actually have to go from laying on the board to standing on the board. You have to sort of just leap off the board onto your feet. It's this move that you practice. Watching me do it on the beach with my instructor was pretty hilarious, because for weeks I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even get off my fat ass onto my feet on the beach in that move, that one move. And but you got to do it on a surfboard, and then you have to ride the wave, which that's a whole other thing, right? So, but here's the story. Here's how I did it. I hired a coach 2 or 3 times a week. And I got to tell you, and he always wanted to be out there like at 6:30 in the morning for surf lessons. And I didn't want to do that, right? I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to go down to the beach. I didn't want to put the wetsuit on. I didn't want to do all those moves that were really awkward. It was all like torture. For how long? About 8 weeks. 8 weeks of torture, 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, even paddling out to the waves was torture. I mean, on your arms and your shoulders, it's like, I can't paddle anymore. Even carrying the surfboard from the car to the beach was agony. Agony, agony, agony. And here's how the process went. The first week, horrible. I wanted to quit every day, every morning at 6 o'clock when I got to go down to the beach, and horrible. I didn't want to do it, right? Second week, still horrible. Maybe a little easier than the first week. Third week, I kind of accepted my fate, right? I accepted the fate of, all right, I'm in this 2 weeks. I'm not giving up. I got to figure out how to do this, because it doesn't look that hard, but I can't do it. Fourth week. Well, in the fourth week, I can actually, on the beach, standing on my surfboard or laying on my surfboard, I can do that hop motion. I can get up onto the board off my big butt. But of course, doing on the water, that's a totally different thing. That's super hard, right? But by the fourth week, I could paddle comfortably out in the waves. I'd built up enough strength and stamina and flexibility. I could do all that. I could carry my board to the beach and not whine and complain about it. Fifth week, if the instructor caught the wave for me, so he would like stand out there with me, hold my board, and then he would push me at the right time for the right wave. If the instructor did that, then I could practice on the water that jumping up on the board, which I always fell off every time. Sixth week, I could jump up on the board. You know, it's kind of a half move. Like I'd get one knee up and then I would jump up, and I'd kind of get onto my knees and then jump up. And seventh week, I could do the move pretty fluidly of jumping up on the board. Now the whole trick was riding the wave, which I fell off and fell off and fell off, and you paddle back out, catch another wave. Anyway, long story short, you probably know the end of the story. By the eighth week, folks, I could paddle out there from the beach by myself, no instructor. I could hang out with the guys who were looking to catch waves, which is a whole other dynamic of surfing, right? Let's say there's 6 guys and gals out there and they're waiting to catch a wave. There's a whole culture of who catches which wave. And you gotta know all of that, right? You gotta know the dynamics. You gotta know who has the pecking order, and it's crazy, right? I had to learn a little bit about that, and then I had to read the waves, right? So you can see these guys; they're sitting out there. What are they doing right now? If you can even see them, they're not looking at the wave in front of them. They're looking at the wave 3 waves out. They have the distinctions, swell and a certain type of swell and a certain timing of the swell and the size of the swell and the speed of the swell. They have all these distinctions. And when they see the right wave, 3 waves out, they get ready. And it doesn't always work out, but if you see them catch a wave, then they'll ride it to the beach. And here's what I did by week 8. I could paddle out there. I could find the right wave. I could catch the wave, and I rode it all the way to the beach. Now, it wasn't one of these waves. It was a little baby wave. But it was a big wave for me. And for the next 4 weeks, that's what I did. I surfed. I had a 12-foot board that a couple of friends of mine from Australia, some of my clients, gifted me, which is a big board, but I'm a big guy. And so here's the point of the story, folks. I mean, I can't think of anything more crazy for me to imagine that I would learn how to do, especially in 8 weeks, to surf. I mean, I can swim good, right? I'm a scuba diver, but surfing, that's a whole different thing. That takes massive athletic skill and training and spaced repetition over and over and over and over again. These guys that are out there catching waves, they've been doing this their whole life. They learned how to do this when they were 8 years old. Hundreds of times they fell off the surfboard. And so, a couple other examples that I've achieved in my life that were kind of bizarre too is at the age of 50, I learned how to fly a plane. I got my private pilot's license. And then at the age of 51, I got my private helicopter license. Here's the point. You and I can learn to do anything we want to do. And as we learn to do it, we get better at it. We actually enjoy it. And then when we learn to enjoy it, we kind of get close to some degree of mastery of it. And then we actually fall in love with the process, the whole process. There it goes. That's actually a paddleboard. And that's the key to success, folks. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. You and I can do anything we want to do. Now, if you're 67 years old and you say, I want to be an astronaut, okay, well, I believe you could. I do believe you could. You may not be willing to pay the price, but I believe you can do it. And so we just have that ability. We have the ability to learn anything. So if you want to learn how to do something, get a coach, Figure out what you need. What is the learning process? You got to dedicate, obviously, the time, maybe some money to it. And then you just got to go for that spaced repetition. I'll tell you this, folks, if I did surf lessons once a week, I'd still be in Noosa trying to learn how to surf. So my surf instructor was smart enough to know we have to be out here 3 times a week at least. He first said you got to be out here every day. I said, I'm not coming out here every day. It's too cold. It's too hard to work. I'm not doing that every day. But I did it 2 or 3 times a week, and that got it done in 8 weeks. But spaced repetition is a huge key to learning anything. You got to speed up that process. So whatever it is you want to learn how to do, I promise you, you can learn how to do it. Get a coach and figure out the rhythm. How often do you need to practice to learn how to do it? Just like riding a bike, right? Remember that? Remember the first few times riding a bike? Everything felt completely weird. It was really hard. It was scary. You didn't want to do it anymore. The only reason you did it is all your friends were riding bikes. You didn't feel like an idiot, so you had to ride a bike. And then when your dad or mom took the training wheels off, you crashed and burned, skinned up your knee, and you still got back on the bike. Same thing. Now you may be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, but it's the same process. You and I can learn to do anything. Share this if it has value. Type in replay if you're watching the replay.